Nice ending with all the people that are coming back from Suikoden 2. So this does pick up years after Suikoden 2. So you can actually use your previous save file from Suikoden 2 in this. Though I've never done that before. So, are you sure? Well, at least we can play as Nacho, and it's not blocked. Alright. So this is where we'll start the timer. So here we go. So, right off the bat, we're going to choose one of 3 characters to play. We're going to choose Godot. This game was made off of what's called the Trinity system, where basically the first 2/3 of the game is you get to choose between 3 different main characters, but you have to play all 3 of them, and their storylines all interconnect. So while you're playing each different main character, you can actually see different parts of the story from different views. So what looks like a bad guy in one story may be a different sort of situations in another. Of course, we're not going to listen to anybody today, so we won't actually know what's going on. Oh, timer's not working? Well, that sucks. How about that? So yeah, we will start with Godot. He is who we are going to choose as our fire champion at the end of the game. Just because that's the original route that was made, and it's one of the more easier routes to learn. So we're going to stick with it. The world record uses Hugo as the main fire champion, but I have never ran that version, so I am not going to do it. But honestly, choosing between Hugo and Godot, there isn't that big of a time save. It's not like you can't get world record with Godot. It's just Hugo is just a bit faster. Alright, so one of the first things you need to do when starting this game is, of course, change the text speed to fast, but also you have to check one of your characters is named Joker, and you need to check his magic. And if his magic isn't high enough to start the game, then you just reset and start over. Because it's a marathon, we're not going to worry. We'll just do some extra battles to get his magic to where it needs to be before the first boss fight. But normally, if it's too low, you'll just reset and start again because it's only three minutes. So we'll just go through all this, and then he's going to ask us a question, and we'll make the first choice. That just skips more text box. And we will change to fast. Then what we'll do is oops, wrong one. Sorry, guys. We will check Joker's status. We probably won't need to. His magic's 90. That's good. We won't need to do much else. So that's actually a good number to start with.
90's on the high end.
So we're going to come down here, and guess what? We're going to talk more. So that's honestly what this game's all about, is talking more. And war battles. Everything else is pretty much quick fights here and there, running from spot to spot, running away from random battles, and skipping text box. Basically, these guys are just mercenaries, and so honestly, I can't remember much of the story because it's been 15 years before I sat down and had a real playthrough where I actually paid attention to the story. I've done it many times in the last 4 years, but I've never paid attention to the story. Here and there, I know parts of the story. So right now we are in Zexton, and after we get through these text boxes, we are going to make our way to the Great Hollow, which is home to the lizard people, where we will have our first fight. But on our way to the Great Hollow, we are going to want to skip all the fights because in this route, we honestly don't have to level up anybody in battles. Everything is taken care of through magic and other abilities, so we can actually make it to the final boss without doing any leveling, which is great. And yet, it still takes 13 hours for me. Hopefully, my goal today, honestly, my goal today is just to finish, because I don't know how well I'm going to be doing at the end, but it'd be nice to get under 13 hours. I'm sure there is a Chris level 99 world record. I don't know what it is, because that's just a lot of grinding. Yeah, I mean, in the last, oh God, how long's Coyote been running it? Like 3 or 4 years? He's like,
It's been 2 years now, yeah.
okay, he keeps reducing it over and over each time. I think the first time he got a world record, it was like 12:59 or something like that, and it's all the way down to what, 11:46, so, or something like that. It's in the 11s now. But he definitely put some work in and has improved the world record over and over again. Plus, he also has the 108 world record as well as the Thomas world record. And I don't know if he's done any of the others or not.
He did all chapters, and he did Luke.
Oh, yeah, he did do Luke, yeah. So we were going to talk to Fred here, and basically we're just going to skip through, choose option 1, which again skips more text box, and then we'll go on. Yeah, he is the master of this game. I will give him that. When I started running this, the only person who had run it before was Sig, and you don't really like this game too much, do you?
Oh, I love this game.
Well, I mean, running this game.
Running it is a different story because just of how many times I've died in the most ridiculous fashions.
Yeah. But you also run every single game, so, I mean, there's that too. So, another key thing, and I'm using an Xbox controller on a PlayStation 3, but when you're hitting the buttons, if you hit the Y button, it will skip text, but it won't answer any questions. If you use the A button, or I'm guessing the X button for the PlayStation, it will actually answer the questions for you. So when you're skipping through text, the last thing you want to do is accidentally answer a question that might be incorrect, and you might end up losing time because you have to do extra fights or do extra text box. So that's why we use the Y button a lot, just so we don't accidentally hit the wrong thing. As you can see, basically we're going to be running away a lot. There are parts in this game where running away, if you fail to run away over and over again, you can actually lose. And because we don't save much in this game, it's pretty much a reset. I have a ton of saves, so if we fail at some random place, I'll just pull up one of my saves, because I don't feel like saving every time we see a save marker. But you can easily lose your run just by some of these random enemies not letting you run away. Alright, so we're in the Great Hollow now. We are going to go and talk to the chief. And And that will set up our first battle. But for those of you who have played S3 before, who is your all's favorite characters? I will tell you mine when we get to her. But we'll leave it a surprise right now. Except for those who have watched my stream and know exactly who my favorite character is. Or just looking at my my picture on my channel, you'll know who it is. Who's yours favorite? Well, no. Sig's favorite is Lulu.
Good luck. I'll see you in 14.
Nobody likes Lulu. He's the worst part of this game.
It's not. I think he has to turn me up. I think that's what it is.
Oh, turn you up? Alright.
Sounds like I'm very far away.
Well, you tell me when it's better.
Yeah, is it there?
Yeah, spoilers there. I'm on. I didn't know anybody died in this game. I got you at 200 on my...
It sounds like I'm pretty far away, like I'm in your headset or something across the room.
Yeah, these are the things we should have set up before we started. Oops. Alright, so the first thing we do here is we're taking a walking tour around the place. So, sorry. So if you either have to wait for him to go to each area, or you just walk into a store. If you walk into a store, he actually just teleports to the correct area. And so then you just walk out and he'll be there, instead of having to wait for him to walk to every area. So we come out and he's already there. And then he's going to head to the chief's room. So we just run back in. And we run back out and he's at the chief's room. And that will bring us to talking to the chief. And desktop audio is all the way up, so I don't know.
It sounds like it's like putting me through somewhere else.
I wish I knew. Alright, so after we talk here, we're going to talk to the guard again, and he's going to give us the sunbeam crystal. And what that does is it allows us to sell it to make more gold. That's it. It's just gold making. Alright. So we'll get this. And now we're going to head to the caves and our first fight of the game. And with most fights, they're pretty simple. As long as you just follow a certain pattern, you should never fail these fights. For the first fight, all we're going to do is let Godot do a soaring bolt, and then everybody else is going to defend, and the lizards will die. Well, they won't die, but they will give up. So they think we're intruders, so what we do is we're going to use magic, we're going to use Soaring Bolt on all of them, then defend, and let it go. And then we're just going to do the exact same thing for the next one. And that's it. First fight is over. So after the first fight is over, Sheba, one of the lizard captains, will join us. And what we actually do is we unequip everybody's armor. And the reason we do that is the next fight is a fight we want to lose, because whether you win it or you lose it, you still get the same cutscene. So the way to speed it up is by taking everybody's armor off and just letting them hit us until we die, because that's a much faster way to finish the fight. Plus, we're going to sell all that armor when we make it back to a town. So there's that too. So we're going to change the formation just a little bit. I'm still getting used to this controller. It's brand new, so we are going to take the armor, unequip. Everybody's losing the... Oh, crap. I did it again. And that's it. So now we just hope that we don't get in a random battle between now and the big fight. Yes, Sarah is my favorite character. Yes, it can happen. Jacques is badass, that is for sure. Though he is very underutilized in this run. Joker is the big... Joker and Aaliyah on the Godot side are the big hitters. And Godot. Oh, we got it. So if we fail this, which we did not. Thanks, RJ. So if we had failed that, there's a good chance we could have died right there. And it would have been reset 18 minutes into the game. Alright, so what we want is, even though we want Chris to use an ice attack and not. So we're going to auto, just to make it faster. We want Chris to do an ice attack and not a ice heal, or a water heal. Somehow we always get the water heal. Don't know why, but we didn't get anything this time actually. This time we just got her doing a regular attack. That is true. So, there we go. Watch her heal. Yep, she's going to heal everybody. Nope, we actually got the attack. So that's going to end this fight. As long as we don't dodge. Alright, so that was a quick fight. So that's good. So, like I said, whether you win or lose that fight, the same outcome happens. And basically, now you just go on. A lot of fights in this game tend to happen that way, where you can lose and it really doesn't change a thing. Later on in the game, we'll have one-on-one battles that will on purpose just defend, because you only have to make it through 10 rounds for the battle to end, and that's faster than trying to win most of the time. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to head to the Kararia village, which is where the Grasslanders are, and we will be picking up Aaliyah there. The one thing that is very annoying about this game is when you walk through certain doors, you may be hitting down on the controller as you go through the door, but as soon as you go through the door, it changes the camera angle like this. Not like this one. Hold on. I've got to go back up to the Chief's room first. I almost forgot. It changes the camera angle, and it may even do 180. So you might walk through a door, and then immediately after the transition, walk back through that same door. The camera in this game is not the greatest, that's for sure. While you're walking, you think, oh, I'll just hit left to walk left, and then the camera just starts, zooming around you, and left turns into down, and you're going the wrong way at that point. Yeah, there's 3 of us that run this. So, we're not as good as Coyote, but we do run it. I tend to run this I usually run it once on my birthday. It's kind of what I do for my birthday every year. And then I'll run it like in other marathons during the year. And I'll do like practice runs, which I'll just do sections of the run. But I usually only do about 2 full runs a year. I did not check what Joker's magic is, so we will have to check that here soon.
Yeah, we get another chance at that.
Yeah. So, the reason you want to start with a high Joker magic is when he gets to 101 on his magic, he gets his 3rd level spells, or 4th level spells, which is a spell that we need to beat the first boss with in fast time. Well, it changed after those first 2 battles. It started at 90, but it should be higher now.
This battle will know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Or what battles we need to do to get through.
Alright, so now we're going to be doing the Aaliyah fight. And it's a pretty simple fight. You just want to make sure that Joker's Blazing Wall hits as many enemies as possible. So between the 2 rounds, you might switch your target just so that it hits more enemies. Godot's Soaring Bolt will usually finish off Aaliyah by itself, but we want to make sure we get, because there's 5 of them, we want to get as much as we can. So we're going to Soaring Bolt. Then we're going to put the Blazing Wall on Aaliyah because it starts in the middle. But we won't use that Blazing Wall until round 2. Oh, that's not good. So Godot stopped chanting. So we're not going to have Soaring Bolt right away. Alright, so... let's see. No. That looks like the best. So this should kill the 4 smaller guys. Yeah, yeah. The soaring bolt is kind of just a safety. Yeah, yeah, we still got the win. And Joker's magic is now 95. So we need 6 more points from Joker. What the heck? How do I have too much stuff already? Okay. That is new. I've never had that happen before. It's only that, of course, it happens in a marathon. Well, even with the unequipping, we usually don't have that happen because right after this talk, we're going to go and sell everything. So. Possibly, yes. Oh, nice. Yeah, we have to figure that out. Because I don't know how to do Twitch really well. Alright, so we are going to go to the store, which is right here with the little girl in front of it. And we're going to sell everything. You got to talk to the person or you can't sell. Alright, so now we're not going to... So this is going to give us a ton of money. And what we're going to do with this money is we're going to buy a lot of sacrificial Jizos. And what the for those of you who are not accustomed to these games, a Jizo is basically an automatic rebirth. So when you die in battle, it'll automatically rebirth you with a little bit of health. The key to that is when you die, if you're casting, you continue to cast. So wherever you were in your cast, you keep that up, which is why they are very powerful. If you go into battles with low health, instead of stop chanting, you'll actually continue chanting when you die, which means you can get your attack off. Yeah. Hold on. I gave those to the Queen, didn't I? Why did I do that? They should go to Joker. Alright, we're going to go... And this is going to be a long talk. Alright. So, I got you coming through the desktop audio.
It's like it's hearing me from somewhere else, though.
I'm wondering if it's hearing you from my Yeti.
Still the same for me. It's just far away still. Yeah, it should be. Unless you just have, and I don't know. It's maybe it's a Discord setting. because when it's off, they can't hear the echo. I mean, all you're gonna do for the next like 15 minutes is pick the correct option. Alright, I think you turn your mic back. Let's see. It's fine.
Okay. I mean, it is what it is. We only got 12 and a half hours more of this. Alright, so for those of you... Oh, well. This is actually a place where I've actually had to reset before. So in one of my runs, I got to this point, and because I have no armor, and I only have 2 characters, you have to run through this field to get to Aaliyah. But if you get stopped in a random battle before you get to Aaliyah and you fail the escape, then you will die and you will have to reset. Alright, so let's just hope for no battles. See, we just have to catch up to her. That's all we have to do. But let's just hope for no battles. Alright, there she is. Uh-oh. Thankfully we escaped. Normally when I do runs like this, I will do like a donation incentive, and I will usually donate $1 for every failed run. So you can get a lot of failed runs in something like this, that's for sure. And you'll see a lot later on in the game as well. Early on, we're still a little bit higher than everything, so it's just easier to escape. And this is going to be a lot of talking. There's actually a fight coming up very shortly. But if you choose option 3, which is to ignore helping the villagers, you don't have to do the fight. So we will do that. Or it's option 2. So by being, bad guys and not helping out these villagers, we actually speed up our run. I think the most is probably 120 or so. It'd make for a great incentive if this game ever got into GDQ, that's for sure. But there's no way a game like this would ever get in or into Limit Break. It's just too long of a game, and it's honestly a very boring game. There are no manips, there are no skips. It's just you're just playing the game. So it's a long game for something that's not very technical, I guess. There are some technical spots, but it's few and far between for this run. There she is. I will say Sarah is my favorite. Uber is pretty awesome, though. Casually, honestly, because I haven't played it casually in forever, I watched a friend of ours play it, and I enjoyed watching it. I feel like because of the Trinity system with having 3 different characters to go for, I think it's very well done. It has a good story. I think it's very well done because you get to choose which path you want to start with, and who you want to be the main character. And for its time, I still think the graphics are great. I mean, it's a 2003 game, and it still looks pretty good, in my opinion. But does it hold up to games like Suikoden 2? Maybe not. But in my opinion, it's in the top 2. Now we have 3 characters. It's a lot less, and one of them has actual armor. We don't have to worry about those battles as much. So we're going back to the village, and when we get back to the village, unfortunately, we are going to see some smoke and some fire, and our village is under attack by Chris. Well, no, actually it's not Chris. It's, which one is it? It's, Leo. Or Boris. Yeah, Chris attacks a lot of people. So here it is. So I'm hitting triangle right now, and it's only so I make this second choice right here. We shouldn't get involved. If you don't do that, you actually have to fight. So we won't get involved. We'll let them work it out. And we run away. So good luck, villagers. That is true. You know. No Sergeant Joe in S2.
I'll do the flame war thing again.
But honestly, it's a series that has very little mistakes and a lot of bright spots. Like, I will play any of the 5. I will play Tactics. I will play Tierkreis. There is not... I've never played Card Stories because I didn't know about it until 2 years ago. There's very, very few bad spots in my opinion. So you can't go wrong playing any of them. But it's also a series that's rooted in... you know, Eastern culture and stuff too. So with the 108 stars, I mean, it's a really cool series. All right, so we now are going to be joined by Aaliyah, and we have a full group of 6. With this, we will make our way to the first boss of the game. Which will be a 2-headed turtle thing. It's a turtle snake thing. We are going to have to fight at least once on our way there to get Joker's magic up. See, I like 4. I think it's good. I think 5's great. I think 5, you know, like... One's good. One's one of the few that I haven't played much at all. But when it comes to speedrunning, 3 is the only one I speedrun. And probably the only one I'll ever speedrun, as I just don't have the time to learn any long runs besides this one. Yeah, I wish they'd make a 6, but I am never going to. I'm not going to hold my breath. I mean, we've got the Chronicles coming out hopefully next year, which basically is a spiritual successor. So I'll just consider that 6 maybe. And then SRD also runs Exit Fate, which is kind of another one. Alright, so we need Aaliyah to be in the first spot. And there's a reason for that. And I'll get to it here in a second. And we need Jax. And then we're good. Alright, so we're going to go through the mountains. The reason we have Aaliyah in the first spot is kind of what I talked about earlier when using Jizos. We need Aaliyah to use her battlefield magic on turn number 2. So she's going to be casting on turn number 1, and we want her to die. The whole point is, if she doesn't die, she'll stop casting. But if she does die, then she'll continue casting, and we'll be able to use battlefield right away. So we're going to let these guys hit us. There you go. So Aaliyah's hurt, so that's good. Alright. That's fine too. As long as Joker doesn't die. We can't have Joker dying. Because he needs to have the actual point up. Come on, Jox. Oh, he missed. I don't know if these 4 are going to give me enough 5 points. We'll see. I might have to do one more battle. Nope. I got enough magic. He got 8. So now we can skip all the rest of the fights and go straight for the boss. I know. That's perfect. So, in a normal run, we usually skip all the save points. You know what? I'm just going to skip the save point. I'm pretty sure I have a save here somewhere. Like I said, there are very few spots in this game that will actually cause a game over if you do everything right. We're on good time pace too. I don't have my splits up, but I usually get done with the first fight in about 53 minutes, I want to say. So, I think we're on good time pace. Look at all... I mean, we're not getting any fights. This is great. I mean, RNG might be on my side right now. And we made it through that whole thing without getting any extra fights. Alright, so as soon as I say that, there we go. Easy one to run away from. Alright, so we are going to make sure that we give Jizos to Aaliyah. Nah. Ah. Did not mean to do that. To Joker. And Godot's already got him. Okay. Here's our first boss. The twin snake turtle lizard. Huh? Alright, so the first thing we're going to do Battlefield with Aaliyah. That's going to increase everybody's magical damage. Then we are going to do Explosion, right, with Joker, which is just going to do a massive amount of damage. And then we're going to hit. So, Aaliyah's going to pump up everybody's damage, and then Joker's just going to kill everybody. Well, not really kill, but just do a lot. It is true. It is from A Link to the Past. This is the turtle head boss. It's... And then hit. So she's going to pump everybody's magic. And that only lasts 2 turns. So, or 3 turns. I can't remember. But basically, it'll be enough to kill this guy. The heads are gone, and now we just have to kill the big guy. And so we'll use a soaring bolt on him and a blazing wall, and that'll be enough. But they take time to cast, so we're going to be sitting here for a minute and have to do another turn. Oh, do not want to auto. So, the way cast speed works in this game is you level up each character through a tutor, and the higher grade they have, the faster they can cast. So if they're at like S rank, they can be cast almost immediately. Most of these guys are at C rank right now, which means it takes them 2 turns, so they have to chant 1 full turn before they can cast. And he's dead. So, this will end... Basically, that's the first boss of Chapter 1. We're going to go to an inn now in the town and have a lot of cutscenes. And that'll end Chapter 1 of many, many chapters. So, we're going to pick up a lot of this stuff in here, in this chest, but only the stuff we can sell. So, we're not going to pick up those question marks, though. I will pick up that medicine, since I think we missed some medicine earlier. Nope. There's what I was talking about with the controls. When you do a screen transition, sometimes if you're holding down... In that case, I was holding right, and I almost ran backwards back into the screen transition. So, if you need to go to the bathroom, or if you need to do anything for the next 10 minutes, all we have is talking. For literally, it's like between 5 and 10 minutes of talking. There's nothing that actually happens. We will run into this inn, and we'll run and talk to a couple people, and then we'll talk to a couple more people, and then we'll talk to a couple more people, and then we just keep on talking. That's why, this game is more like a light novel in a sense, where you spend more of the time just talking. Alright, so first we'll go in here. We need to go and rest at the end first, so that we set up the next screen transition. So we will stay, but we will not save. So I found out you can actually run past that if you turn left too early. Found that out on Monday, and I ran past it, and I was like, why didn't I do the the cutscene? And there's a small window, you can actually miss it, and it will make you doubt that you're in the right spot. Alright, so now that that's over, and Ace is left to go talk to people, we will go back to the inn, and Ace will join us at the inn. And this ends the first chapter. And so each of the three main characters gets 3 chapters in their storyline. And then after you choose who you want to be your main character, that character will get a chapter 4 and a chapter 5. But the other 2 will not get a chapter 4 and chapter 5 unless you go back and play the game and choose them as the main character to be the Flame Champion. So in all, there are only 11 chapters, but there's a possibility of 15 if you play through it 3 times. Or just go back to your save right before you choose the main character and play from there. Which many people do. Or, many people don't know about when they first choose. But if you do know about it, it saves you a lot of time. We're not doing doggo chapters. Yeah, the Thomas chapters we are not doing. Those are only done in all chapters. They're not even done in the 108 star run. And the only person who does that is Space Coyote. Duke tries to be too cool. That's not the first one-on-one battle we will get is versus Duke in chapter 3. So. But we've almost made it an hour, so we only got about 12 more to go. So one of the cool things too about the game is when you choose your character you want to start with and you finish the first chapter, you're not required to go to chapter 2. You can actually go and choose a different character's chapter 1. So you can do it in any order. If you want to do the first 2 chapters of Godot and then go and do the first chapter of Chris, or if you want to do the first chapter of each of them, just to kind of keep the time continuity down. What we do is we do all 3 of each. You know, we do the first 3 of Godot, then the first 3 of Hugo, then the first 3 of Chris. You can do them in any way. Speedrun's really not locked in. It doesn't matter which ones you do, in which order. That's just what we do. In my run, I am going to choose Godot. Possibly. I do not know.
Well, I don't know him, but if you do Chris first, I don't think that you can do the Hugo Duel at the end of the chapter, first chapter.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, there are probably a lot of interesting secrets and stuff like that in this game that I have never seen. Because it is a very expansive game. I mean, there's a lot that we skip over, that's for sure. I mean, I don't know how many stars we even get by the time it's over. It's probably not even a third of them. Well, that's not true. We do get a lot. But it's not like anywhere close to 108. And a lot of them we just get because they're part of the main storyline. Oh, that's an easy answer. No, it's Lulu. And it's easily Lulu. Worst character in any. He literally does nothing. Just gets in our way. Lily, I like Lily. I think Lily's one of the better. I mean, well, not better, but she's pretty. I like her. Lulu's mom is awesome. I will say I am not a huge fan of having both of the teleporters in this. Was it Yuna or whatever? Or, not Yuna, but oh crap, what's her name? I can't think right now. Because I get the Vicky, yeah. Because I get their pictures mixed up, and so like we have a specific order of who we take into which of the final battles, and I always take the wrong Vicky because I get their pictures mixed up all the time. So that's why I don't like it. Alright, so now we're going to go back. We're going to head to Lebouk, which will bring up... Oh, yeah, we have more text. But we're going to Lebouk, where we are going to have our next battle, which is against Franz. Sorry. On the way there, we're going to be passing by where we had our first battle, or our first boss fight in Chapter 1. And there'll actually be an iron golem there. And so the key is to stay to the right of the wall so that you don't accidentally get targeted by it, or that will just make it really bad. I always thought it was Luke. Like I said, it was like 10 minutes of text before we really get control back in this game. So, Chapter 1 was decently like simple, not too much. Chapter 2 is like extremely simple. You have a total of one fight and two options to select. That's it. The entirety of Chapter 2 is one fight and two options to select. So there's not much to it. So we'll switch formation just so that we can do well in the fight. And hopefully we get the good luck of not getting a lot of random battles on our way to Lebouk. So I myself lose a lot of time in the speed run because I tend to just be very bad at running. I will run into walls. I will look at chat and look back and realize I've just been running into a tree for like probably the last 20 seconds or a stone. So I lose a lot of time with just the running part. Which can add up a lot over the course of 14 hours. Hey, what's up, Rayo? How you doing tonight? Or today? Or what is it? It's close. Like, I might be the slowest menu person to ever play an RPG game, but I lose more time just randomly running into walls, I think. That's why my PB is 2 hours behind Coyote's, I bet. So when you're learning this speed run, a lot of it is just learning like which path to take and who to talk to and stuff like that. And so honestly, if there's anybody out there that's ever said, I want to learn a 14-hour speed run and I want to be good at it, this one wouldn't take you. You could run this one without any practice and very little help, and on your first attempt get a time probably comparable to mine. It's not that hard of a run, and we have great notes that were started by Zero, and I think it was Zero, and they were updated by Siglance, and then Coyote's got like post-it notes somewhere. So I've never... Coyote legitimately has post-it notes of his runs, and he just flips through them. I mean, he doesn't need much. But we have great notes, so if you ever want to learn this one, the notes are on speedrun.com, and they are very simple to follow. Oh, there's our first fail. But yeah, so I would love to see more people run this because I think it is one of the better. I mean, it's hard to get people to run long RPGs anyway. So having 3 people run the same RPG is actually kind of nice. But I would love to see more people run this. Alright, so for our first battle with Franz, it's a simple Godot is going to Soaring Bolt and Joker is going to Blazing Wall. Everybody else is going to just hang around, and that will be it. That's literally all the fight is. And it's our only fight in Chapter 2. That, unless we fail, escapes. Here comes Bug Boys. Alright. So, like I said, first things first, we're going to Soaring Bolt. It'll take them 2 turns to cast it. So, let's defend. So, we'll need to make sure on the second turn that Joker's Blazing Wall hits as many people as possible. So we may have to change once again. Alright, so that one's going to hit everybody. So right now it only hit him, so let's move it in here so we hit more people. And yeah. It's got its ups and its downs. That's for sure. I mean, like, lightning is way too OP. Lightning damage is just ridiculous. But once you get the Flame Champion, it does have some decent abilities. And everybody but Ace got some points, which is fine. So the key too is you want your guys to level up as much as possible, but everybody kind of gets leveled up by the end of the game anyway, so it's not the end of the world. And for those of you who don't know, this is actually the final boss of the game, and he's come out to meet us. But we don't know who he is right now. In all animes, if you wear a mask, you're cool. Or you have cool masks. If you have a cool mask, you're the bad guy. Let's just say that. I do believe this is the closest. This is the most anime-ish Suikoden. Alright, so now it's a lot of running around, cutscene, running around, cutscene, running around, cutscene, and then picking an option. And this is where I get to the point where I was talking about not knowing. I mean, like, I've played it casually years ago, and so I know the whole story. But honestly, it's, you know, I just see this stuff over and over again, so you don't know exactly what's going on. I love how she literally left the party, and we will run over here and she'll join the party. And she's joined the party. And more cutscene. Oh man, Doc. Alright, so now we're going to go and talk to Aiku. And we have to make sure that we select option 2 with Ace, or while she's talking to Ace, or somebody's talking to Ace. If you don't select option 2, then you get put in a different area, and you have to walk around and find. You have to go back in and find all the stuff, and it's just it costs you a couple minutes. And I've done it like 3 times in the last 4 runs. So I always will now remember not to do it. Alright, so we're going to go in her house and talk to her real quick. And she's going to join the party, only to leave it by the time we get to the entrance of the city. Town. Probably town. So right here, you make sure to hit option 2. And now we're going to leave the town, and we are going to head to Mount Sinai. So like I said, chapter 2 is it's very boring. Yeah, it's very much so the shortest chapter. I mean, it's probably what, like 30 minutes at max. Where chapter 4 is like 4 hours. So yeah, we skip all of the Thomas stuff. I mean, we still get to see him and talk to him when it comes to the base and stuff, but we don't do any of his side quests. And they're all going to take off on their bugs. So, one of the more like I guess it's considered like one of the like scarier times is coming up when we go into Mount Sinai, and over the course of years, people have failed runs through not being able to escape from these skeletons. So I've never had the problem, but I know Sig said he's had problems with this area. So we'll see. But we're basically going to be skipping all the fights. Yo, and there he is, Space Coyote himself. Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, they do have a lot of great dialogue, but we skip it all. Alright, so we are going to stay to the left and hope for very little battles. Then we're going to cross over, but then we're going to cross right back over. So the key is you want to stay on the left side, just because that's the path that gets you to the finish. So yeah, so now we can cross over. Yeah, we're going to need your help, Coyote. We are not good with technology. Yeah, when it comes to Twitch, I don't know a lot. I mean, I do what people tell me, and that's how I figure out stuff. I also took a big break from Twitch, and I'm just now kind of coming back to it a little bit. Not really, but I'll be back. Alright, so now we're going to have a talk with Duke. And the key here is when he's going to ask you a question, and if you choose option 3, you won't have to fight him. If you pick any of the other 2 options, you will have to fight. So we will once again choose the option with least resistance, and that will speed up our run. Maybe we'll make a category that requires all fights in the future. Yeah, that's why you use the Y or triangle button, so that you don't accidentally hit the wrong dialogue choice. And after this, it actually will run back to where we fought the first boss, and that will end chapter 2. Alright, so make sure we pick the third one, and we're good. Yeah, yes, they have it out for each other. That's for sure. The Flame Champion Nacho. Ugh. I think that's the first time we've heard about Flame Champion Nacho. Yeah, I'm good. It's just a long day. Alright. Here we go. So now we just have to escape. You know, I mean, we've had some very good RNG today as far as random battles. With this kind of RNG, we might even get what's his name to join us in battle. There is one character that'll randomly join your team in battle. I always forget his name. Even if my brain wasn't clouded today, I'd still forget his name. But later on in the game, he will randomly join and you will pick him up. And there's not much you can do. He just joins. Alright, so we're going to go back to the mountain path. Landis, that's it. Alright, just one more transition and we will be through chapter 2. There's 3 fails. There we go. It can get scary once you get, like, past 3 fails. Oh, 2 of these. Alright, so that's going to end chapter 2, and we will go to Godot's final chapter. Which, if you thought we didn't have many fights, well, there's only 4 fights in this next chapter, so, and one of them's a one-on-one battle. So, I'm not really getting much more in this one either. So 2.5 hours, and we'll have like 7 total fights for Godot. There is a minimum of 11... Well, there's 11 chapters to beat the game, but there are 15 chapters total. Basically, you have 3 chapters with each main character and then 2 final chapters. But you pick one of the characters to be your main character, and so you can have 3 different final 2 chapters. You could have Godot's final 2 chapters, or Hugo's final 2, or Chris's final 2 chapters. So, in all, there are 15 chapters in the game. But you only get to do 11 of them. And that does not count the side quests, which Thomas has his own chapters, and Luke has his own chapters. So... and the dog. Yeah, that's... Nobody's done dog percent yet, I don't think. Alright, so we are in chapter 3. The first thing we're going to do is we're going... You know, we are now into chapter 3, and we are finally going to level up Godot's weapon. And only Godot's weapon, because that's the only one that matters. Because... he is going to be fighting a 1v1 with Duke, and we want his weapon to be as high as possible to make it a fast battle. We'll level up everybody else's weapons in the final chapter of the game. Right now they don't need it. She's trying to blend in. Yeah, go out and do dark percent. I mean, it'll count. Forge, Godot. Alright, that's all we can do right now. So we're going to make our way to the tutor. And we're going to upgrade Godot and Aaliyah and Joker's magic so that they can start casting magic faster. To the tuta. Don't get in a fight. I mean, their outfits are pretty cool. I would definitely cosplay as Jacques. On to the tuta. So we're gonna remove Joker's repel first off. Forget Joker. Make sure we're not hitting fire magic because that would destroy it. And then we're going to learn lightning magic. All the way up to B+. Which means he'll be able to cast on the first turn, but he'll probably be the last one on the first turn to go. And then for Aaliyah, we're going to learn Earth up to A. And we're going to try to get Joker to A on his fire magic, but he may not have enough points. And if he doesn't, we'll just have to level it up a little later. And he does not. I think you need 455 to get it up to A. Alright, so we'll just have to do that later. Alright, now we're going to head back to Zexton, which is where we started this whole run at. Oh, and for those of you wondering, these things right here are the save points. The things that we keep skipping. You go to those to save. This forest right here, later on in the game, is synonymous with ending people's runs. Because there's a point where you have no armor on, and you're as Chris, and only Chris, and you fail these and you're automatically dead. Alright, let's hope we don't fail this right here. Yeah, so we're a little low. I'm just going to play it safe real quick. Just to make sure we make it through this forest. I don't want to be the guy who laughs about getting through this forest only not to get through this forest. And yeah, laser crabs are a very, very not real thing. Scary thing. Alright, so we're going back into the main town, Zexton. The main city, Zexton. And we're going to be doing a couple cutscenes, but while we're here, we need to make sure we buy some wizard hats for our 3 main magic users, which will also increase their magic ability, which will be needed for 3 fights at the end of this chapter. But we're here to continue the story, but really the only thing we need out of it is the wizard hats. And once we get the hats, we'll actually just leave town and head to another cavern. Honestly, all the main chapters, like, they all are about 2.5 hours each. The main character's first 3 chapters. The difference is with Godot, he has no war battles, so it feels really, really fast. And very little battles for that matter. War battles tend to slow down the game, but alright, yes, we want to stay, but we do not want to save. So basically, he's finding out about a certain cave to go to and what is going to be the castle that all the main characters are going to meet up at, which we will get the chance to name later on. So we will have to think of a good castle name. Maybe we'll just name it Cheese Castle. So Nacho's Cheese Castle. Oh, Boris. I always called it Budak, because I don't actually know how to Budahuk. Bud E. Huck. Alright, now we'll go and buy our wizard hats. Buddha Hick. Buddha Hick? Yeah. Go in the door. Alright. So we want to... that's not what I meant to do. We want to sell first. And we're going to sell all the things we picked up. Which is going to give us a ton of money. Because the one thing about this economy is finding old boots will net you like $1 million. And then wizard hat for Godot. I am really bad at menus. Oops, come on. Oh, I gave one of the wizard hats to the wrong person. Hold on. Now, we only need to wear wizard hats. Alright, so now we're going to leave town. Now that we got the wizard hats, we can leave town. And we're going to make our way to the northern cavern. Inside of the cavern, we are going to have a one-on-one duel with Duke. Sorry. And the way one-on-one duels work is it's a rock, paper, scissor. You have three things. You can attack, defend, or do a death blow. And so attack beats defend beats death blow, and death blow beats attack. But I don't know, many of y'all played the Monkey Island games. But the way you know it's an attack or a defend or a death blow from the enemy is the comments he makes right before the attack. And that will tell you what he's going to do. So you just read his comment and then you figure out if he's going to do one of the three and you do whatever beats it. So as long as you know what you're doing, you're good. And yes, Monkey Island is an amazing game. Another thing is, we're about to go into this open area here, and you have to climb up a circular, the walls basically, and you can easily fall down, so you just got to be careful not to fall down and have to redo it all. Trying to run and text my wife is not helping. So you could fall down right there. So you just got to be careful. So you don't have to do this run again. Same with that area. So if you're ever doing this, just make sure you try to stay along the wall so that you don't accidentally go down. Alright, so we're going to be going through this tunnel, and after we get it through this tunnel, we'll be in the room where you fight Duke. You have to make sure before you fight Duke that you heal up. Because if you do not heal Godot up before the fight, he'll actually start with low health, and it doesn't take much to lose. So we'll just make sure we'll heal him to full real quick, and now we can use the fall down these little paths if you can find them. Okay, and we are now at the fight. Oh, really? I will remember that next time. That's good knowledge. Thank you. Alright, here we go. So here's the one-on-one battle. Come at me. Here we go. That's an attack, so we want to do death blow. That luck will run out is a defend, I think? Yeah, that's a defend. So we want to do attack. Hardly felt a thing. Try a little harder. That's also a defend. Not bad at all. I'll go full speed. So that is a death. No, that's an attack. So you want death blow. And because the dual gauge is on his side, you always get the first attack now. Maybe that's a defend. So all these defends actually makes it really slow. So death blow. Death blow does the most damage, so that's what we want. So now it doesn't matter what he chooses, we just have to counter it. And there we go. When it comes to 1v1s, we only have 2 of them that we try, and then the rest we just die on or defend on. So in the speedrun, you don't really pay attention to these as much. Alright, so now we're going to head to the castle. where it will be under attack and we'll have 3 battles in the castle. All of them pretty easy. We'll just be using Blazing Wall and Thunderstorm the whole time. So we just go through here. There's a save point. So for those of you interested, I just looked at it. We are already about 10 minutes behind world record pace. So just shows you how much faster Space Coyote goes in this game. Where it doesn't look like I've done much of anything wrong, which, I mean, menuing, yes, but he's already 10 minutes faster. Well, not really. Not too many safety. But honestly, I don't really care about like my time. I mean, I like to improve my time. I'm never gonna be as good as him. I just like this. I like running this game. That sounds really weird, doesn't it? I like running a 14-hour RPG that just talks the whole time. All right, so now we have Thomas's chapter. We could choose. Well, no, not right now, but we have finally made it to Thomas's area, and we'll get to meet Thomas for the first time when we go to the castle. And so we're just going to leave, and we're going to head to Thomas's castle. So we have to go back through the forest and the grasslands and all the fun stuff that could kill us. And here's some garden gnomes. And then, so last time we went straight north, and that took us to the Lizard Clan. This time we're going to go west, which will take us to Thomas's castle. And these very angry bunnies. So when running across this, you can see the camera. This one isn't too bad, but a lot of times you'll see the camera like rotating. And you just need to like adjust so that you keep running as straight as possible. If we could recruit them, that would be nice. Alright. So we've made it to the castle. So, I don't remember if it was... I think it was 2 times ago. My capture card was not working well, so I decided to play this game on the computer. And I think my computer didn't have much memory at the time. It was a different computer. So I got into these fights up here. And all of a sudden, my computer, whenever a magic spell would happen, it would just freak out. And it literally was like super slow motion explosion effects. And for those that were here watching it, I know Sig was here watching it, it was the most hilarious thing ever. And it ended up making my run like an hour longer because the explosion effects took so long. But thankfully we are on the PS3 playing this and will not have those issues, as the PS3 definitely is the best way to play this if you don't have the original disc that is on the PS2. Is that true? Because I always, whenever I hold it, it seems to turn around and go different. Like right there. Even though I was holding left, or I mean north, it went north as soon as. Yeah, I tend to just wait till the screen starts up and then figure out which way the camera's looking. I highly doubt it, as Konami is not really that interested in these games anymore. They do have. I think it was SRD who found a pachinko machine that they released recently of one of the Suikodens. But they really don't. That's why the original creators had to go to Kickstarter to make the spiritual successor, because they weren't going to put any money into something that wasn't going to make them a ton of money. Alright, so now we're going to try to leave town, and this will start a series of 3 fights, and that will be the last thing we really need to do in this chapter, except for make our way to the Flame Champion hideaway. And this is where we find out that he is actually the true lightning rune holder that he's been keeping secret, and we could have really used that power, before now. Yeah, I will be in Japan next year, and I would love to find one of these pachinko machines. As long as, all the COVID stuff goes away, I'll be there. Oh, I've never heard of woven web. Oh, that's cool. Alright, so now we are going to try to leave town. Oh, okay. I don't think anybody runs that one. I could be wrong. Well, actually, we are going to fire first off. Then lightning, then fire again. Fire is just so much faster. Oh yeah, I forgot he's not a day, so he doesn't go right off the bat. Whoops. Nope, didn't get him day. Forgot about that, but it didn't matter. Oh wait, we hit the wrong one. We may have to kill a couple of these guys. We'll see. Because we selected the guy in the middle and he moved before we used our fire, we were not able to hit all 5 of the guys. If we'd have been at A, it would have been an immediate fire shot there. Oh, that's cool. Is there a English translation of it anywhere? True lightning, thunderstorm. Oh, okay. And then this will be the final fight. Ah, not what I meant to do. Yo, what's up, Mr. Naruto? Yeah. No, not Thomas today. Cecile? I think it's Cecile. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Juan is pretty cool. He does love his naps. We are beating the game with Godot today. I took one right before this run. So, I do. But I was just hoping it'd make me feel better. It did, a little. Alright, so now that that's over, we have two things we have to do. One is we have to go to the duck village, which will be the first time we'll meet ducks in this game. And we have to get Joker's magic level up to A. And the other is we have to go to the Flame Champion hideaway. And that will end Godot's chapter with him meeting up with the other two main characters. And basically it puts a stop to his chapters until we do the other two. Yeah, I played Hugo the first time. Like, Hugo, I feel like is the... He's supposed to be who you pick, you know. But I picked him the first time, and then I don't think I've ever picked him again. Like, I think he's the default. Like, the company was saying, here's who we want you to pick. Godot. Oh man. All right. We finally get it back. So we're gonna have to go through Brass Castle and all that fun stuff. Yeah, the eye patch is like, you know, Superman's glasses. You don't know who he actually is. Running into too many people. Alright, so we've made it through Brass Castle. Now we're going to head to the Duck Village. And we just have to go through these two planes real quick. So many murder rabbits. I never understood this. Like, this is the only, like, there's just random horses sitting out here. It's like no other. I mean, no. I guess there's a person right there that's supposed to be. Yeah, a part of it. Never mind. Somebody spoiled a certain person's death earlier, but we won't say it for those that weren't here. Alright, so we need to get Joker up to A. Whoops. Wrong way. And that's all we have to do in here. So now we can head to the Flame Champion hideaway. I think a lot, as far as which is better, has to do too on people's like opinion of what they wanted in a game. Like, I think both of them have great storylines. If you're looking at storylines alone, I think they both have great storylines. And some people like the graphics in this one more than 2 because it's a little bit more anime and less RPG-ish, I guess. But really, whatever's best is always personal opinion. I like 3 the best. I think it's definitely, you know, in everybody top 3 in my opinion, but it's the one I like to run the most and play the most, so. But all of them are great, yeah. This isn't good. These guys are very trolly. That is for sure. That's 4. Oh no. Hey, there we go. Let's be a little safe. Just a little. This is why we got the medicine. We just want to be a little safe. The forests are... Both forests are deadly, that's for sure. Nice, Sig. Alright, so we're going to run to the end of this, and before we get to the end, we are going to attach Jizos to Godot, because once we pick up with him again as the Flame Champion in Chapter 4, they immediately start in a fight with a Fire Elemental, and so we want to make sure that he'll have the ability to survive. So we want to make sure that he has all the Jizos on right away. But this is the end of the Godot first 3 chapters. So once we make it to the end of here, we will be done. And we will be starting with Hugo next. Hugo has a pretty long cutscene to start with. So I am actually going during the cutscene to go and get a drink. And probably use the bathroom real quick. It's about a minute cutscene. I'll have to run. Now normally, and I don't want to get too gross, but normally I'm using a wireless controller and I can do some playing while moving around, but my new controller is wired, so unfortunately I can't do that anymore. Alright, so we'll stop here and make sure we equip him with 3 Jizos, which surprisingly we used a lot. Yeah, that's why I'm using an Xbox controller. And the one thing I know we've talked about this, but all 3 of the main characters come to this spot, and they all go into the Flame Champion's hideaway. And he's the 3rd one there. So, what happened to the other 2 groups of people? Should we not have passed them on our way into the cave or in the cave? Are they all just like hanging out? You know, they just disappear. And this will be the first time we actually meet Hugo in the game. We have met Chris, but we have not met Hugo, so this will be the first time we get to meet Hugo. And there he is. Chris is looking a lot better. Not without that all that armor on. Alright, so now we're going to Hugo. So I'll be right back. Okay. So we are now Hugo. And there's Lulu. I don't think we ever find out who Hugo's dad is. But Lucia is definitely from S2. It's definitely George. So we are going to be given the task to go and talk. Oops, almost missed him. Talk to the, or bring a letter to the Zexton people, because that's what, you know, send a young boy to deliver letters across the country. Definitely a smart idea. No, but Jimba is somebody else's dad, just not Hugo. And I won't spoil whose dad he is, because that'll come up later. Can we keep Lulu here? Alright, so now all we have to do is go back here. We're going to go rest real quick, which will start a cutscene, and then we will head to Zexton. God, could you imagine if our hair was able to do stuff like that? Yeah, Hugo is, thankfully, he gets to start with the Griffin right away. Unfortunately, you don't get him for the most important fights in this first chapter, because Fubar, which is by far the greatest name in this game, does not get to come into Zexton with us, or Brass Castle for that matter, but we don't need him in Brass Castle. Oh my God. I mean, we get a Griffin, we get Sergeant Joe, Hugo, which is okay, and then we're stuck with Lulu. So the first thing we'll do, we're going to head to Brass Castle, which will allow us to upgrade our magic ability, because you actually start with a ton of experience points already to use. So we can go on and upgrade our magic ability for Hugo and Joe. Very much so. And we failed. And my family just got home, so there's a good chance you might hear a lot of screaming kids. And slamming around. Alright. Okay, so we're going to get a very important cutscene coming up as far as storyline goes, which sets up a future event. I'll be right back. Test. 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 Okay, I couldn't figure it out. You may just hear some kids in the background. It's hard to play a 14-hour game and get around kids' schedules. So, as you could see, there was definitely tension between the Grasslanders and the Zextons. Oop, almost forgot to go. So we're going to get Hugo's wind magic up to D. Doesn't sound like much, but it's a little bit of something. It's better than E. And we're going to get Sergeant Joe's water up to B. And that'll be it for right now. Oops. And the reason we only go up to D for Hugo is to allow Joe's attack to go faster than us in the second battle. That's the reason we don't go up to C. Oh, you know what? We forgot to do something. I forgot to go to the rune shop. Sorry. This is actually a big mess up. Because I was thinking ahead. Because we need to remove Lulu's Sword of Cyclone. Since he is not going to need it, since we're not going to use him to attack anything. So we lost some time there. So many things going on right now. So we go in here and remove the Sword of Cyclone from Lulu. And that's just so we can sell it later and make more gold. Alright, we are now back on track. Alright. So, these guys probably will not give us much trouble. All three of our main guys have decent amount of damage, so we should be releasing everything we see. Yeah, and they all start out that way. Alright, so now that we are heading into Zexy, we're going to lose our best attacker. Well, no, Joe would be our best attacker, but Fubar is going away. So we will not be able to use him for the fights inside of Zexton. It'd be awesome if Fubar... I love it. He just walks right into the fence there. It's like, I'm not going anywhere. So we put them all in the front rows so that they can all have short range attacks, I guess. Fubar is still a good boy, though. I love these pictures. I mean, they did well, in my opinion, with the drawings here. Alright, so now we just have to head to the council. We got to make sure to talk to the guard here. That's a big thing. I got here one time and I went through this whole cutscene and I never went and talked to the guard, and I spent all my money on staying at the hotel for 3 nights because that's how you progress. And I completely forgot to give them the letter, so I had to find more money. I had to sell some of my stuff to get more money to stay at the inn 3 more times. So we're just going to go in and hand them the letter, and then we'll leave. We'll sell all of Lulu's things. And then go stay at the inn 3 times. That's a good point. You call that video game logic. Take that cat back for Fubar. Alright, and go sell some stuff and then in here in the item shop. If I can get in the item shop. There's too many animals on the... Then we'll go over here and actually improve. So now Hugo and Sergeant Joe will get their weapons upgraded, which will help us in the first battle. This is going to be the first time I definitely save, because these fights coming up you can legitimately die on, so I will safety save here. So better to be safe than sorry right now. So we stayed once, stayed twice. And we stayed 3 times. Oh, I didn't mean to save it again. So now we'll go back to the council. Oh, come on. We'll go back to the council and they will tell us that they have no interest in helping us. So now we'll go back to the inn, which will trigger them coming to attack us. And we will try to escape Zexton. So now we have to get out of here as fast as possible. Which will require us to do 2 fights. And the key in these fights is Hugo does a spell called Wind of Sleep, and we really need him to hit at least 2 of the attackers with sleep, so that we're not getting bulldozed, basically. I love how he scans the room and he keeps scanning past the wide open window. And there we go. Yeah, that's why it's really nice to have the 3 different viewpoints, because it really does look like they are bad guys. And then you have Chris's chapter, and it's like, oh, well, you know, it's a little different. It's coming up very shortly. Alright, so we're going to use Wind to Sleep, trying to get most of these guys to go to sleep. So even though there was 4 of them, there's now only 3. And 2 of them don't even have armor. Hopefully we get at least 2 of them asleep. That's the goal. 2. That's not 2, that's 1. That was dumb. There's a game over. Yep. This is why we saved. So in a normal run, we would just start over. But we will do that again. So we have to sleep 2 more times. Yeah. That was literally the worst case scenario there. We got critted. We didn't get any of them to sleep. It was just bad all around. So we'll get to watch this all over again. And that's why I saved there. Pretty much puts a PB chance out of the window now. Yeah, I mean, for people who are doing this the first time, you die to these guys so many times because you don't think about the whole wind of sleep and how to take these guys out. I mean, it is very tough. I mean, as proven even in the speed run, but also you'd probably be leveling up a little bit more before doing these guys, as I just skipped all of the areas between the start and here. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not the first time I have died to those guys. Alright, so let's try that again. Hopefully we will get better results. And I mean, as you notice, Lulu takes 0 damage and then immediately just dies. So that's why we don't worry about him. No, this is definitely a Japanese game. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's true. It is one of the only ones that didn't come out in Europe. The PS TV is surprising. I mean, it is so expensive these days. I looked at one last year, and it was just way too much. Yeah, thankfully they still have the PSN network for PlayStation 3 still going. The PS TV is kind of like a add-on box that you connect to your TV that plays PlayStation games. Alright, here we go. Attempt number 2. If we can just get the armored one asleep, we'd be fine. Yeah, I wish 5 was on the store. Alright, try this again. So we're gonna sleep and defend. The reason we don't attack is we don't want to accidentally attack one that might be asleep. Oh, we got one again? Oh my god. Alright. We are getting some major good RNG here. Oh, thank you. Alright. We'll attack the one that's been asleep for one turn. Oh, thankfully, we made it through the fight with 3 guys. Now we have to go to the fight with 4 guys. It's a little bit easier because we can use Joe's Ice Breath, but still. Lulu did his job. And you know what? I am not taking any chances. We've already failed once. I don't want to fail again. Well, we have to make it through this first, Beyond. I mean, let's not count our chickens before they hatch. Yeah, that's it. Alright, so first up, we have another When to Sleep, and we have Breath of Ice. And you can just not do anything. This one's an easier fight because we get to use Breath of Ice. Hey, we got them all asleep. That could not have been better. All right. Even Lulu leveled up. Look at that. Alright, so we need to make sure we select option 2 when talking to Leo here. It's pretty badass ice animation. And now we just run. We have to make it back to our home. Thank you, Fubar. You have been a great help. Welcome aboard the hate train. I love battling all the leaves. Not yet, no. That won't come in. Chapter 4 is the earliest, I think. Yeah, you can definitely recruit people in Chapter 1. Who, I don't know. Oh, can you actually get... oh, okay. Chris. So here's the fun little escape sequence for Hugo as they wait in line to get through Brass Castle. And for some reason, he could come in the first time, but... well, I guess he would be way too suspicious.